HUSWATUN HASANAH of Indonesia, the first Indonesian woman to reach a final in the Asian Boxing Championships, and the only fighter not from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan or India to make it through to the final. She beat the #1 seed in the semi-finals. And we've got another Kazakhstan fighter, RIMMA VOLOSSENKO, heading for the blue corner. Got past Simranjit Kaur of India by unanimous decision in the semis, a #3 seed previously. Has boxed at a couple of these before. At the World Championships in 2019 as well. Hasanah has some World Championship experience herself and previous Asian Championships experience, so they're quite well matched, these two, you would say, in that regard. But big win for Hasanah in the semi-finals against Shura Zulkanarova of Tajikistan. She got past her by split decision despite having a point deducted. It was 2 apiece, and then one other judge had it 28 points to 28, and that particular judge had to make a decision and went in favour of the Indonesian fighter. Watching the fights in great comfort there, down at ringside.
Shame we don't have a couple of those, Andy.
That is absolutely
luxurious chaise longues. But a bit of history in the offing here is that Hasanah's already into as Indonesia's first finalist, and you know, to take that one stage further, her name already in the history books, but potentially something quite special.
Absolutely, she'll be aware of that, I'm sure. In the red there, HUSWATUN HASANAH of Indonesia. RIMMA VOLOSSENKO of Kazakhstan is in the blue. Hasanah in the red. Both of these two orthodox fighters, and Volossenko started aggressively here. You can see that just from the posture. Feet planted wide, lead hand held low. Referee just wiping off the gloves. And physically, of these two, Volossenko is the bigger when you just look at them in the centre of the ring there. She's looking to try and flip that jab up from the waist and get some pop onto it, get some real power onto it. Then she really is looking to try and step to Hasanah here, Alex, and get her right on the back foot early on. I think she maybe senses a few nerves in her opponent, possibly. She's looking to put her foot down.
She says Gennady Golovkin, perhaps unsurprisingly, is one of her heroes, and she's fighting a little bit like Triple G, isn't she? Just one danger, I think, for Volossenko. That left hand is very, very low, and Hasanah has been triggering her counter right hand very sharply and quickly indeed. So this is set up nicely. I like the style from both fighters. I like the application. Just Volossenko's got to be careful, because the counter right hand of Hasanah, she's looking for that. There's going to be opportunities. She just landed it there.
Volossenko just pushing off with the forearm a little bit there. The referee having a quick word about that. She's bristling with intent, with aggression here, the Kazakh fighter. You can see that there, just moving that head on the way in, offering the head short. Left hand there was a solid shot. The referee could have jumped in with a standing count there, and has done now. No great surprise. Some nice clean punching there.
That was a huge left hand. It looked like the right hand was the punch she was looking for. It was actually the counter left once the gap closed between them. There was real meanness and method about Volossenko right from the very off. She's come out here, Andy, as though not only does she think she's going to win, she's pressing as though the referee is going to have to get involved, and she's going to force him to do just that tonight. Remarkable start.
She's really looking to put on the show. She's got nice quick hands as well there, lets them go on the inside. And Hasanah, who was dipping low at the waist, touched down with the gloves, and she almost let a couple more go. Volossenko just shuffling into range, lets her a right hand fly that time. And this is a pretty torrid opening round for the Indonesian fighter.
Oh, that's a huge left hand. To be honest, I was thinking the referee could have stepped in before, and he has done now. And you have to say, Andy, it was on the cards right from the very start. What an explosive performance that was from RIMMA Volossenko, I should say, the number 2 seed, already taken out of the competition in the very first round. The seeds were falling left, right and centre on both sides of the draw. And she has just fought tonight in the manner of a boxer who's going to be on everyone's lips and shortlist to see next time there's a competition worldwide. That was terrific.
Absolutely, it's another gold medal for Kazakhstan, and it was the manner of the performance, because right from the first bell, as we mentioned, and you couldn't miss it, she came out just bristling with intent, with aggression, with confidence as well, looking to try and really put her mark on the fight early on, and she did just that. And there was that lead left hook, and the way she throws that there just pulls the weight back, so she's actually out of distance. She's got a range perfectly with that left, and the referee did the right thing there. It was the second standing count of the round, and I think he knew it was one-way traffic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by knockout hit in the blue corner representing Kazakhstan.
Well, if there's going to be an award for Boxer of the Tournament, I think they might just have closed the voting. Certainly they didn't need to cast any votes, the judges here ringside. It was only the referee who was called in to do his job, and that's a remarkable performance, Andy. It's not just how she's done it, it's the manner and approach right from the very start. My notes say puncher, very aggressive. My goodness me. And I wondered about the low left hand, whether that was going to be a hindrance to her at all. But when you can punch like she can, but also with the technique and accuracy too, that's a heady cocktail for a boxer, particularly at these kind of events in the women's division at this weight as well. Fantastic.
100%, she is one to watch out for. She is one to watch out for. Hasn't made it to Tokyo later in the year, but there's plenty of time for her to compete in all sorts of other competitions. Women's World Championships coming up in October towards the end of the year, and that's a standout performance of the day so far. I feel a bit for Hasana there because, as you said, she was making history, first Indonesian woman to make it to a final of the Asian Championships. Terrific effort. She should be very, very proud of her display over the course of the last week, but tonight she's just run into somebody who was too good for her, and there's no shame in that. It happens to everybody at some point.
It's the nature of sport, particularly at elite level. You might be the best in your village, your town, your country, and then at the rarefied level there just happens to be someone who's even better than you. That's what happens even at world level. You don't always see it so strikingly, but that's what happens, and Volossenko showed it tonight. Whether she'll have the same sort of success against maybe more savvy, switched-on technical boxers further up the food chain, only time will tell, but she's going to be on the must-see list at the next competition, that's for sure.
Absolutely. 60 kilos is always such a good division as well, isn't it? Because that's where the majority of the fighters congregate in women's AIBA boxing. Partly because it's one of the Olympic weights. There are 5 now rather than the previous 3, but just physically, if you like, that's where it's the most populated weight division generally, isn't it? 57, 60 and 64.
And sometimes, Andy, you see fighters, whether in the men's or women's divisions, where they just have a style that really catches your eye. Mohamed Rabi, I remember seeing him in 2015 in Doha, thinking, yeah, I like the way this guy fights. Arlen Lopez, the Cuban as well, has got that really easy on the eye, fan-friendly style. And I think Volossenko has just gone on the list as well for both us and I think from anyone watching across the world. I'm sure there'll be lots of potential would-be opponent coaches now who'll be looking at that style and thinking, right, let's find ourselves an answer. Let's see how we diffuse that. The low left hand, maybe that's something they'll be looking at as we look back on some of what we've seen so far tonight, to the action getting underway with Alua Balabikova, one of the first Kazakh fighters on show tonight to manage to garner a medal.
Absolutely, absolutely. She was in with Gulasal Suntanalieva of Uzbekistan. That's Akabakova in the blue there. We're about to have some medal ceremonies. This was the light flyweight division. And now we have a look at the flyweights, the very familiar figure there of Mary Kom up against Nazim Kizabay of Kazakhstan, and that was a tight one, a real tight one, a split decision in the end, but it was Kazakhstan who managed to score another victory. But just amazing for Kom, though, to still be at this level, still be at this standard after 20 years of boxing. She started back in 2000.
One word, Andy, and it's what all sportsmen and women, to an extent, are striving for: legacy. She's left it. There's the Mary Kom Boxing Academy, of course, in India, which is probably the reason we now have all that youth success, and indeed the Indian men and women that we have in this tournament right now, already finalists as well. There's one reason for that, largely, and it's Kom. She's done that. No surprise they made a film about her. No surprise she is hero worship back in India, and no surprise that she's an inspiration to so many. So, you know, lead and they will follow, and you know.